Mm-hmm.
Okay, hey everyone, and thanks for tuning in, and welcome to episode 4 of the Dadfit.Podcast Save It for the Pod series. As always, a big thank you to everyone who has tuned in and listened to date. We currently have 141 listens, so growing week on week. Check us out on Instagram. It's at Dadfit.Podcast to keep up with the latest news and guests. We'll soon be announcing a big event, which you can sign up to, so keep a lookout for that. Firstly, apologies for not releasing an episode last week as promised. Me and James just couldn't align our schedules, so we just couldn't get one done. And on that note, today James won't be joining us. He has to work, unfortunately, so big shout out to him. He's currently on top of a crane in Bristol Port, probably talking about CrossFit. So keep going, James, and he should be home in the next hour or so. Today is a special day. Firstly, it's my wife's birthday, the big 3-0. So happy birthday, Ellie. Had to get that one in there. And actually, we have our first ever guest on the show. It's Mr. Sam Dando. So without further ado, Sam, why don't you introduce yourself, give us a bit of background into who you are, sort of where you live and what you do for work, etc.
Brilliant. Happy birthday, Ellie, by the way, before I forget that.
Yeah, tick.
Yeah. So I'm Sam Dando. I'm 33. I'm originally from the Garw Valley, Llangina in the South Wales. Yeah, the hood, like one of the 3 dodgy valleys. I moved to Belfast, Northern Ireland, about 6-7 years ago. I was just in retail and warehouse and lots of jobs I didn't like. And I've always been passionate about music and fitness, so I wanted to chase being in the fitness industry, and seen there was a market for PTs over in Northern Ireland. So I had a few Joe jobs in the meantime, but got qualified as a coach. Mm-hmm. And then I started fixating on wanting to be the coach who could fix people, because I was working in a commercial gym. Yeah. And I've seen a lot of coaches put in general population clients through exercises that didn't really suit them, because most people are 9 to 5, sat down at a desk. Mm-hmm. And it wasn't long before people would be saying, oh, well, this hurts my knee and this hurts my shoulder. And I was watching these coaches just going, okay, we'll just do something else, and they wouldn't get into the bottom of it. So I got qualified in sports massage, and I've since got qualified in osteopathic spinal manipulation. And so I'm both a coach and a sports therapist, and play drums in a band, and I hunt with a pack of dogs, and I have an 18-year-old stepson and a 3-year-old son, and I'm married to Ashleen, and that's all I can think of, really.
Jesus, man. Just thinking about how you balance all that. That's a lot of balls to juggle. But yeah, firstly, let's go into what actually made you get into fitness. So what inspired you to, start getting into fitness? For me, I was quite young, so I think it was the first time I watched Rocky. I was like, yeah, oh man, this is cool. And then when I seen Rocky 4 and he was shredded, and then I was like, oh my god, who is that blonde guy? That's Ivan Drago. He's massive. I want to be like that. And it's sort for me, that was the sort of the segue into me wanting to start training. And then I found Arnold Schwarzenegger, and I was like, holy shit, that's a whole nother level of beastness. And that was sort of didn't really want to be like Arnold Schwarzenegger, but I was like, I want to train. I want to do that. That was my inspiration. What was yours?
So mine was similar to Rocky. I was athletic. I wasn't really sporty. I went through a boxing phase when I was 17, 18. Obviously, Rocky. That was
I did boxing as well.
Yeah, you did boxing as well. Exactly. Yeah, right. So I went through a phase of that. My dad is the chief of police, or he was retired now, but he was your classic up at 6 a.m., run 2 miles, 500 press-ups, pull-ups, blah, blah, blah. So that was a thing I always tried to emulate as well. He was like the ultimate fitness montage, as it was, sort of thing. So we had in our back garden one of those pull-up dip frames. Yeah. You can do dips, you can do pull-ups, and you can do leg raises. And I had a couple of dumbbells, and that was it. The first person I wanted to be like was You ever seen the film Never Back Down?
Yeah, I know who you're talking about straight away.
So Cam Jagande,
yeah,
baddie,
that's it.
he was like my man crush. when I was like 20, 21, he was like my man crush. And I was like,
sick buddy.
And I was like, I wanted to be like him. So I did the sort of training where I was just doing body weight dips and stuff and a bit of weights. And I very quickly got into sort of like Bruce Lee kind of shape.
Yeah.
I wasn't big, but I was just sort of brawny and sort of thing like that. And then I just watched Rambo 2, I don't know how many times. And I think that was when it really went off in my head. I was like, wow, okay, I need to start eating better.
Which one do you reckon's best? Which Rambo?
Yeah,
Rambo 2 is definitely...
Rambo 2 is in Vietnam.
The best one.
He's supposed to take pictures and he ends up just going and blowing up
with an M60.
Yeah, there's an iconic scene where he's saved the war vets and he's getting them to the helicopter, and then these sort of 100 soldiers descend upon him, and he's there with a single gun, machine gun, and he's just emptying the thing, and you can just see every striation in him, super tanned and everything. And that's when I was like, I need to join the gym now. And
I get myself a gun.
yeah. So I joined Jeff's gym in Brunmenning, the sort of bodybuilding mecca of the Bridgend gyms at that time, and I got into it from there basically. But what made me get into the industry was really random. I'd met Aisling, my wife. I was buff butlering, so I used to be a topless waiter. So I worked in retail, which I hated throughout the week, and then on the weekends I taught drums. I gigged with a band and I did buff butlering. And I remember I wanted to move to Ireland. That was in my head now. I just thought, and I'm sick of retail and these sort of jobs. And the real, I'll say the trigger, whatever galvanized me into going at it full pelt, believe it or not, was an Arnold motivation video on YouTube.
That is awesome.
I was folding clothes in Tommy Hilfiger and it was sunny outside, and I had a real issue with being indoors when it's sunny. Like I would, on my 45-minute break, I would sunbathe on my car. That's how much I needed that to just get some sun on me. But I went on my break and it was raining at one point or something, and I came in and I was watching just YouTube videos, and Arnold's 6 Rules to Success popped up, right? And I was watching it, and I remember physically getting upset when he talked about rule number 4, don't be afraid to fail. And then everything I ever did, I was always prepared to fail. And it really upset me. It really, really got to me. And I watched that video every day on my lunch break for about a month. And I just thought, I need to get out here now. So I literally told the boss I'm leaving, and she was delighted. I went to a call center. I went to a call center selling life insurance. It was an insurance broker until I made the move to go over to Ireland, signed up with a real not great PT course. So what should have taken a couple of months took 18 months basically. But it turned out to be a blessing because I had a job in the meantime. I was delivering furniture, and I was in it long enough that we could secure a mortgage. So I jumped into PT when I got qualified then. Jumped into PTing just as we moved house, and Aisling was pregnant. So like no pressure there, like from safe little warehouse jobs, little retail jobs to suddenly self-employed. And
I think though, like that just will motivate you even more because you have to succeed.
Yeah,
you can't fail.
It's sink or swim.
Best time to do it.
It's probably an excuse, but I started at not a very clever time to start PTing, which is about October. So you're approaching Christmas. No one wants a PT. It's more, people think it's January is like the fitness, that's when the trend kicks off. It's more actually February, March, April, when the weddings are booked and the holidays are booked, and people are like, "Oh, I'm still a fat slob," sort of thing.
I'm going to beat this with the girls, and I need to.
Yeah, exactly. So I started off at a time when it was tough. So I had to do agency work on the side. So I was working in a place called Bond Delivery, doing night shifts, just pick packing, all that stuff. And it was a real hellhole. And I remember thinking, I need to make this work. And basically, around the time my son was born, I remember my father-in-law, he came to visit him in the hospital, and he was a business head director of a heating company.
Okay.
top businessman. He's retired. He's living it up. I think he's actually gone back to work. He's bored. He's just he's like Alan Sugar. And he took me aside, and because things were picking up a little bit with the PT, but I was still having to do the agency work. And he says, right, you need to stand out now. He says, you need to do something to stand out. What? He says, how many PTs are there? I said 12. He says, why are you so different? Go away, think about these things. You need to be different. You need to come up with something. And I came up with like a 6-week, it wasn't like a transformation, stupid fob you off thing. It was like a starter plan. That's what I called it. And it was just to retain clients, It was like a generic plan, 3 PT sessions included. I think it was like 100 quid or something. But that was my starter, and it just snowballed. Very thankfully, it snowballed. Awesome. So I started out in a commercial gym, was on shift there for a year. Then I progressed onto rent, and then got qualified in a sports massage. And I knew I needed a room, and I needed to be in a better facility. So thankfully, got the job in Reform. So Reform is the gym I work out of. It's a real powerlifting mecca. It's not a commercial gym. It's you're either a CrossFitter or you're a bodybuilder, or you're a rugby lad who goes there just to do a bit of conditioning, or it's very sport specific. So I've got a room that I operate out of there, and then I PT on the gym floor. But Arnold's motivation video.
I think that's just when you talk through it, that's like a huge achievement, mate. And I think from what I see on your Instagram, you're always stacked. You've always got clients. You're always busy, and that's just absolutely awesome, Mike. So that's great.
I'm very, very thankful. It's just snowballed, but it all stemmed from me wanting to be able to fix the PT clients, because I thought I'm just referring people to physios and this, that, and the next, and I still have a ton of stuff to learn. But so far, so good, and I've taken on a few PT clients as well from being their sports massage therapist, people who are just paying this out next, or just people who just don't have a clue about the gym, but they're hunched over all day working, and it's not enough to tell someone, I'll do this stretch and that'll fix you, or do these banded pull aparts and that'll help you. You just got to be blunt with you and be like, look, you've no ass, you've no back, you've no posterior chain. You're literally like, you've got all these postural issues, a couple of stretches and got to fix this. You need to join a gym, or you need to stop being one of those road cyclists and adopt it over there. There we go.
Of life.
Like, that's the only time I'll not keep it clean.
I'm fine with that. That's good. I think and it's good you say that. I think a lot of people, from my experience and what I've seen, there's a lot of PTs out there who, like you say, just sell that package. And are they actually looking at it for the best interest of the client? Questionable. Whereas I've seen some others who maybe a little bit slower and more methodical, but you get the right results. They start building the foundation, I suppose, of how fitness should be undertaken. So
definitely, and you can't try and be a jack of all trades. That's why most of my clients would be fat loss or aesthetics or something like that. I've very few sporty clients. I have one rugby player client. She plays for Queens. We got 5 stone off her, and she actually changed the second row because she was such a transformation. She went from lifting people to being to being lifted sort of thing. But and I only took her on because I did my phase 1 strength and conditioning course, and the coach who took me through that is actually my wife's coach now. He was a pro sprinter back in the day. He was housed with Mo Farah and all that. Brilliant guy. Best S&C coach in the country. But apart from that, I would take the sort of fat loss, those sort of clients. Whereas, if a footballer or someone came up to me and was like, you need to make me this, and this by next season, I wouldn't be confident. I would happily refer him elsewhere. But that's where you get a lot of bad reps with PTs, when they take on anything and everyone, and they don't have the first notion of it,
they don't have the skills to be able to undertake it.
So anyone who's aspiring to be a PT or a coach, stay in your lane. That's the best advice I can give there. Don't try and be Mr. Everything. Definitely. That's that'd be my sort of client, definitely.
Absolutely. I think like I want to rewind a little bit because we'll talk about the big bad ugly COVID situation.
Yeah.
Like that affected everyone in the world. Luckily for me, I was classed as a key worker at the time, so there was no real impact towards me and my family other than us not being able to see anyone. Someone like yourself who's self-employed, just trying to build this business and this thing, it must have been like devastating. So how did that go? Like how did it sort of how did you deal with that? Because I can't even imagine what it must have been like.
Because it was horrible because it was when everything was snowballing for me to be in my prime. It was like it was now at the point where I was like, wow, I'm 3 weeks fully booked. Wow, I'm 4 weeks fully booked. Oh, this is class. So PT, massage, and then gigging with my band every weekend. That's the way it was going. And then lockdown happened, bang. And
all taken off you like overnight.
All 3 trades just taken out of my hands. And that was pretty stressful because obviously everyone
you got bills to pay, you got a family to feed.
Exactly, got a family to feed and stuff. It was a real panic station because anyone who was self-employed in the UK around that time will know we didn't get a grant until 2 months later. It was just sort of survive on
what you had
imaginary money for 8 weeks. Because we didn't get nothing until about May time. So I was very fortunate in the sense of I don't do it as much now, but I had my own clothing brand, pack training and recovery, a few hoodies and bits and bobs. It was initially a thing just for my clients to wear, but it thankfully snowballed and a lot of people wore that stuff. I had boxes left of things and I just advertised it on Instagram, like very sloppily. And people just messaging, I'll take that hoodie. Oh, what size is that? I'll take that. So I literally, even though you weren't meant to leave the house or whatever, I became like a delivery driver for a week.
Key worker, man.
Key worker, yeah. Delivering these, clothing to houses. So I managed to sell most of that, however many boxes it was, in a week. So that got us by for a week. And I was like, right, what do I do now? Then thankfully, one of my clients who's he's a head chef, and I trained him and his wife before their wedding. Lovely guy. He messaged me and he says, Sam, have you got any vouchers, the sports massage vouchers? And I was like, yeah. And he went, right, just transferred you money. Just post it to me. Just we were thinking of you, and when this is all blown over, we'll get booked in. And I was like, oh mate, you're a legend. He says, that's a thought, start advertising vouchers. I was like, I didn't think of that. So I advertised that, sold a week's worth in no time. So that kept us ticking over. So I was like, at least when we start back, they'll probably feel like I'm working for free for a week or two.
Yeah, but by now.
And then it was like, it was like the fish and the loaves parable. It just all of a sudden it was May, and the grant came through, and we just sort of survived in the meantime. And it was the time when I can't remember, it was like over in the mainland, but over here we just seemed to have the best weather in that April, May.
Yeah, it was awesome.
I had a barbecue 10 days in a row. Like became training in the garden, barbecues, and Tiger King. Remember Tiger King?
Oh God, yeah,
that feels like years ago now.
Lockdown on Tiger King.
Training, beers in the garden, Tiger King. That's what it felt like, April, May sort of thing. And then so we got a few grants through, so that was brilliant. And we were then, from May something, I was allowed to legally PT in the garden. So that became a thing. Felt like a real LA fitness trainer then, PTing only on the sunny days.
Yeah.
So PT in the garden for a bit. So that was good. No rent to pay, no this, no that. I think we could freeze the mortgage for a few months. So that was a help. And then from the June time, I was legally allowed to do sports massage, which I did out of my shed. I did a temporarily kitted the shed out, and so once again, that was all the people who had bought vouchers and things. They'd came and used their vouchers, and then I had more people I'd never met before, booking in because they'd referrals. So the May, June was actually pretty cushy. I wasn't too stressed, there was no rent to pay, no this, no mortgage to pay. Just spent my money on barbecues.
Barbecues and beer.
and then the gyms opened in in Northern Ireland July 10th, and I think Wales was like 6 weeks later or something. It was
So I was obviously, I've been living in England the whole time.
Yeah.
So like my rules were different to, I think we were probably similar to Northern Ireland, but
Yeah.
Wales are like, so I was like speaking to James, being like, "Oh mate, I'm in a gym today," and he was like 6 weeks out, like, which is just nuts.
Yeah. It was. I remember training in the gym and it was on my Insta stories and stuff, and all my mates back home were like,
Yeah.
"Which gym's that?
What are
Which
you
gym's
doing?
that?
Can I come?
Yeah, wait, which gym's that?" I'm like, I still live in Belfast, mate. And they're like, "All right,
You have to catch a plane."
we're still with," and I know, like, it was just the Welsh and nuts. We were just the Welsh and nuts. We just abided by the rules over here. I feel we just abided. We just kept our heads down. Whereas from what I was seeing from even just
Ogmore by Sea was just like a party scene.
Yes, I was just going to mention that the free for all in Ogmore by Sea, where, if you don't know, for the listeners, I think about 400 people got together and just had a massive scrap. For I don't know what the reasons were, but
kids.
Kids, and then they're doing that, and then they're like, "Why are we still in lockdown?"
Yeah, I know. I'll tell you what we'll do. We'll go and protest in Cardiff Bay. The same bunch of people, and protest like another 400 of us because we're in lockdown. Yes, you're in lockdown because you keep protesting, you idiots, to stay at home. It's not difficult. But for some reason, they just struggle to understand what it meant.
Oh, definitely. And I even like Facebook. I probably have equally as many friends in Ireland as I have in Wales, and even just watching the statuses and the videos, it was like people kept their heads down over here. People just, a few bad eggs, but pop that. Whereas my Welsh friends was like, house party, house party, house party. Oh, I'm not listening to no one. House party.
Yeah. Everyone having dinner on each other's houses, like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
You're not supposed to do this.
Yeah, and then being all butthurt when it was still
when you're 6 weeks behind. Yeah, honestly.
Yeah. So that was a bit mental. And as a dad, going back to the dad subject, that was tough because my parents couldn't see my little one. So I'm an only child.
Same.
And that was really tough for my parents. And the first time we got to see them we'd seen them in the Scottish Highlands in February before lockdown. And then we managed very miraculously got to Kefalonia in the September as a big family. So we didn't see each other from February, so
it's the same with us.
Walking and everything,
Yeah, like my obviously my family's still in Wales. Well, my parents aren't anymore, they moved to Spain, but they I've probably seen them like 3 times in that whole year. And then I think my lad is obviously, he's born in December, so it was just after, I think, the second lockdown, we were allowed out for like a week. So we managed to celebrate his birthday, but we couldn't have like a party or anything. So we just literally had to go outside and go for a walk somewhere because you weren't allowed indoors, and it was just crazy. But thankfully we all got together. But just a crazy time, and
weird time to be alive. I think my parents actually managed to, before the September, they managed to get over, I think it was a month before, but you still weren't allowed to leave Wales, right? And they had to sneak over the border somehow. They even took the Severn Bridge. Well, they call it bridge now. It was like Mission Impossible to get to Bristol airport, where it was fine in England. But
see him going around with this fossil stash on, like, driving around. Nothing to see.
Nothing to see. It was just, I just remember it was like a top operation. To get out of Wales to get to the airport. I
think like my parents parked on the back of my house, snuck in. Like, it's like,
Yeah.
No one knows that you live in Wales. We're in England. It's just a crazy, crazy time. I think, like, from a training point of view, like I struggle personally.
Do you have any equipment?
Yeah. So luckily the CrossFit gym I was a member of at the time lent out all their gear.
Amazing.
So I think in the first lockdown I had like 120 kgs worth of barbell weights, a box, kettlebell, I had bloody everything. So like my car just kitted out. But I just, I think after like a month, like I need that sort of structure of go to the gym at 6 a.m. Train, and like especially with the CrossFit sort of environment, it's like a team ethos. I needed that to sort of like motivate me and drive me. As soon as I knew I didn't have to go there, I started to struggle with getting up in the morning. Then I was like, okay, well, I'll train when I get back from work. And then I was shattered. And then I was like, oh, fuck it, I can't be asked. And then I reverted to like doing like Zoom classes and like It was
Yeah.
cool for a week. Then I'm like, I'm sick of jumping up and down in front of a Zoom camera. It's just stupid.
Yeah.
And then I used to like FaceTime James and we do workouts together, but it's never the same.
No,
I actually started running, I think in the third lockdown. I
yeah.
just run like 3 times a week, which has destroyed my knees. But
yeah, I was going to say, I had a massive influx of people post lockdown who didn't have equipment like both of us had, and they just wrecked themselves. One girl actually I trained, she swam the English Channel twice. She's an absolute machine of a girl, and she got it in her head that she needed to run 8K every day. I don't know where she got that number from, but like plantar fascia, as you name it, from her feet up, she was a write-off. And I was like, well, why are you doing this? And she's like, I had only had this amount of weights. And I was like, I could have structured something for you to do, programmed something for you to do in 20 minutes. But she's like, so you're saying I need to do more than 8K? I was like, no.
Do less.
No. Running bad.
Don't run.
Don't run. Yeah.
Oh,
so yeah, no, a lot of people reverted to that. Running, walking, cycling. Everyone was buying bikes.
Well, I used to crack me up because like when I get back from work, you're only allowed out once a day. So me and the missus would go out with my boy and my dog. We just go for a walk, sort of clear my head from work, and just get out. And you could tell the people who had never done fitness in their life, like the shiny trainers, the Adidas jogging bottoms, or power walking around like this.
It was
nice to see, to be honest. In the first, it was really nice to see, and then the second lockdown, it was raining. No fuck around.
Yeah, Baltic. Yeah,
just gone.
The second lockdown was
no one was interested.
No one was. I like the first lockdown. I got a lend of equipment. I got a lend of I think it was like 120 kilos, like yourself, and I had a pull-up frame that you could apparently attach to any door frame. But I managed to wreck every door frame in my house. So I used it for, I think I was doing bin pull-ups. The wheelie bins became prime possessions. And I had loads of different resistance bands, like the chin-up resistance bands. There's a pillar in my garden, and I looped all the different bands around it. And then I would loop the pull-up bar through each one, whatever I wanted to use. I was doing rows, I was doing curls, I called it the Tower of Power. I just could do all my accessory stuff. So I would do sumo deadlifts, I'd do bent over rows, bin squats. That was a hazard in itself. Like, seen a few crazy fail videos for that. Like, the bin squats. One of the boys from Jeff's gym, actually, I seen a picture of him on Facebook. He'd ended up in A&E. His back of his head split open, and I said, "What do you do?" And he said, "It was those resistance bands." And I was like, "Resistance bands cut your head open."
Is he Mrs. Whipping you or something? Or
yeah. So what he didn't quite explain was he'd put a resistance band through a basket hanger and started doing tricep extensions or something, and he'd ripped the hanger out the wall, and it took a chunk out of his head. Jesus. So he's lucky he wasn't doing curls, because imagine that going face first into him. But there was so many non-gym fail videos that weren't actually in the gym. It was just off wheelie bins and home workouts gone wrong and stuff. But the summer lockdown, I actually thrived in it. I put 6 kilos on in 6 weeks because my NEAT, or my non-exercise associated thermogenesis, that just slowed right down because I wasn't working anymore. So I managed to still keep my abs, but I put on a kilo every week for 6 weeks, and it's the first time I've been able to maintain the weight I wanted to be able to hold, just because it was training, sunbathing, barbecue. That's pretty much all I could do.
I think it was just a good time. Well, it was a shit time, but it was like, this is crazy. You get told to stay home. It's just nuts. But I think the novelty soon wore off when the sun went. I think that sun just kept everyone going, because it was nice. It was awesome. And I remember getting home from work like 5 o'clock and it being boiling, and just playing outside of my lad. And it kind of made things feel a little bit better. But then the winter one came, and I struggled big time.
Was grim.
It was tough.
Yeah, I even had still, once again, equipment lent to me, and I set it up in. So my father-in-law moved out of his house, and it was just vacant in the meantime. And legally, although I couldn't PT, I was legally, throughout that winter lockdown, allowed to continue sports massage, which I'm very thankful for.
Wow.
So I had a bed set up there. I had a bed set up in my treatment room in the gym. I was allowed to be there 3 days a week. And then I had equipment set up, but just all the morale went for the training. And then I was taking pre-workout and then like train for like an hour and a half longer even, and come home and I'd be like, I literally just did sumos and 2 other exercises. Like, what was I doing the whole time? It was just miserable. It was freezing. It was just yeah.
I'll never forget. So I did a lot of running in a second, as I said, but I think that second lockdown I had some dumbbells. So I had like a 30 kg dumbbell.
Yeah.
And my mate I used to train with quite a lot and partner up with in CrossFit. He used to live like 5 minutes from me, so we used to go running together.
Yeah.
So let's just take the dumbbells out and let's just go and do something. So we used to train at 6 a.m. So at 6 a.m. on like a Thursday morning, we were in this fucking pub car park. It was snowing, right? It was actually snowing, like freezing cold. Like, and we do like, I don't know, like run 200 meters and then do like, I don't know, some dumbbell snatch and shoulder press and things like that. And I remember looking at him halfway through going, I can't feel my hands.
I can't feel my hand.
What the fuck are we doing? It's 6:30 in the morning. It's snowing and we're lifting weights in a pub car park.
You need to watch Rocky IV to like encourage you to do it.
I was like, needed Paulie by my side, you know.
Fair play. Like that's no. I hats off to you.
And after that, I was like, maybe we should switch to like 5 p.m. training.
Yeah,
this is just stupid.
It
was like -1. It was bad. But that's so desperate we were getting, because when you were allowed, I think you were actually allowed to train with someone outside. Like that helped a lot, because I could go running with them. We always used to meet up in like a big park and train with each other and stuff. So at least we got a bit of something in. But thank fuck it's all over, to be honest. Well, say it's all over, but who knows what comes this winter? But at least
coming next. No, I remember during that winter lockdown there, a lot of PTs who were full-time PTs, and I felt sorry for them. They were trying to do like the outdoor boot camp setups, which they would have thrived in that in the summer. But seeing them down by the seafront in the pouring rain, people just throwing a kettlebell around and just running around the field. I was like, oh no way! I've said that people must be seriously desperate to pay to go and get that done. Like, it showed how much it was affecting people's mental health. They'd rather,
it was tough, man.
Hate to play in the rain, like,
I think, like, the true impact of that whole 18 months, 2 years, or whatever is still going on is yet to be seen, I think.
It's
gonna have a big, and especially on kids, I think. Like, my boy will never remember it.
No,
thankfully. But like, imagine you in like, I don't know, year 7, year 8, or year 9, or GCSEs, like, wow. But I'm sure
like my stepson was doing his A levels. So it was just that was a whole ordeal in itself. Like, it was just not knowing really, would you pass and stuff, whether you got the information you needed from school through all that, it was just it must have been like a bit like how bad a PT course I went through. So here's a book, learn it, come back when you're ready to do the exams, There was no teaching, and it must have been what he must have felt like, along with all the other kids doing GCSEs and A levels and meant to be going off to uni, and there's been a lot of gap years taken. I'm pretty sure of that,
and just a crazy situation. And I think thankfully it's winding down, but who knows what's around the corner. But we could talk about this shit all day long, but I got more questions.
Yeah, I know.
So we've covered your background, who inspired you, lockdown training and things like that, and your business. I want to talk more now about competing. So you obviously compete in bodybuilding. What got you into that?
What got me into that? I think it was in Jeff's gym. So I was in Jeff's gym and I was surrounded by, a lot of the big juice heads, a lot of the Bridgen, like the big icons there. Some of the older fellas, just phenomenal physiques, and I was dicing the idea. I didn't have a clue what I was doing. First 3-4 shows, I just was lean, and I thought that was it. I just knew everything, and I didn't have a clue. I jumped into men's physique first ever show, and I looked like a deer in the headlights, but it was because I had no legs. I thought, I can't do bodybuilding. I don't belong, so I must do men's physique. And I felt like a fairy. I just felt like a fairy, just sort of prancing around the stage. It just felt like a men's runway rather than something a bit more substantial. No dig at any men's physique guys, because it's very tough, and the politics in the judging that is even more obscure. So I had a taste for it, and then I thought, right, I need to really bring on my legs and arms and stuff now. And I did a natural show then. I was in a massive novice class, deer in the headlights once again. And then I did another show called the UKBFF. It's an untested federation. So I knew I could be up against some big lads, and I did the under 70K class. I think it was 66 kilos, pretty lean, but not much development there. And I came second, and that was the first time I come away with a trophy. And I went back to Jeff's gym, and so Jeff, like Rocky had Paulie. Mike Tyson had Custom Marta. I had Jeff, my little Jeff. Like, 1 minute he's giving you the best bodybuilding pieces of wisdom, and then he's on about like aliens and conspiracy theories and like microchips in dogs, and they're gonna like unleash the dogs in us one day. But he really looked after me, and he was proud as punch. When I came back with that trophy, he was proud as punch, and that was it. I had the bug for it then, so I think so. Did a few shows, and then that was the last show I did, before I moved to Northern Ireland. Still wanted to compete and stuff, but I was still clueless with the dieting side of things. I basically signed up to do the UKBFF again, but it was the Northern Irish. So I'd done the Welsh the year before, and in 2015 I just moved over, and I thought I'd do the Northern Irish one. It's probably the worst condition I've ever been in a show, because when I moved over here, I discovered Irish food is amazing. And they have soda bread and potato bread and wheaten bread. And, I didn't know what heartburn was until I moved over here, put it that way. So I had my Irish wife cooking for me like I was a king, and I put on weight pretty quick. So my condition in that show was actually horrifying. But it was just me and this other guy, and he was shredded, absolutely shredded. And I've just looked at him and thought, oh, at least I come second. I'll probably come second, and I'll get a trophy or anything. But I was more muscular, and my posing was really good. I got coached by a top judge a couple of times, and I beat this guy, and suddenly I was Northern Irish champion. I was like, wow. Even though I looked awful. Went to the Brits, just to have a taste of it, and that was an experience. But then the following year, I did the 2016 UKBFF, really, really good condition, and I came second in a good class. And did a few other shows the following year. Wasn't so good because I've got eczema and asthma, and I just have a really crappy immune system, basically. And 2017, I can't look at any of the pictures of my stage shots because I just looked awful, just really flat, lost muscle. But I actually ended up with shingles, and then I ended up with sepsis before the natural show that year. Yeah, so eczema got infected in the back of my neck, and I was in bed for about 2 days, pumped full of antibiotics and stuff. I still did the show, just rocked up and just looked awful. But Ashleen was like, she said, you could have, my nan died of septicemia. She's like, you could have died of that for what? A plastic trophy. Get a grip. And I was like, right, yeah, that's true. So got qualified as a PT shortly after, and 2018 then was the last time I'd competed. I did classic, and I wasn't intended on competing. We went to Ibiza for the first time, and I got in sort of like beach shape for it.
And I
came away from the trip, and I thought, there's a show in 5 weeks. I thought, I'm not going to say anything. I'm not going to put any strain on myself. I'm just going to diet, not batter social media, not amp myself up. And they took the under 70K class away. So I turned up and I thought, what am I going to do here? And they put me in classic, right? And I came second, and I was delighted. It was the best I've ever looked. And that was because I did put no pressure on myself. I didn't cut my waters. That was a big thing. A lot of assisted bodybuilders do. They take, these illegal diuretics and things, and, water is just something they don't have. And then they often look better a few days later when they've had their takeaways and, booze and water and everything else. And then like, oh, why didn't I look like that 2 days ago? It's because they cut their waters. I didn't cut my waters that day, and it was the best I've ever looked. And the guy who won, he was unreal. He was about the same height as me. He was 8 kilos heavier of muscle, and he went on to come 5th in Europe 3 weeks later. He came 5th in the Arnold, and he beat me by 3 points. And that meant more to me than the trophy, that this guy, this piece of perfection. So to me, that meant that was my best symmetry, best condition, best presentation, posing, blah, blah, blah. He had judged on a few different things. And I thought he just outmuscled me. He was just brilliant. But that meant a lot. My son was 8 months old at the time, and he'd been sleeping amazing. He was like, we thought we were amazing parents, because the first 6 months of his life, he slept 12 hours a night.
Yeah, so I had one of them as well.
So we were like looking down our nose at all these other people, like, we bring our kids into bed with us because we can't get, and we just thought we just got it made. We're just the best parents ever. And then he started teething, and then this, that, and the next, and there was just no way I could carry on competing. I had to focus on business. I had to focus on my business and building my arms and legs. So I took 3 years away from the stage just to work on my symmetry, because my aim was, next time I walk on stage, I thought, I don't want the judges to look at me and go, haha, look at his legs, good lat spread, but his hamstrings don't match. I thought I want to walk on there and then just go, okay, he just needs more mass or something, That's definitely what I achieved this year. So I had a 3-year hiatus, do a bit of powerlifting. As I said, my gym I work out of, it's a powerlifting mecca. They have a lot of comps there and stuff. And my boss, effectively, he is the head strength coach there, and I love sumo deadlifts. So 2 days
so you do them all the time.
Oh, that's like, I hate squats, I hate bench, but sumo deads is my party piece. And I just said, look, train me like a powerlifter for my lower days, and I want to get big and strong for them. So I combined powerlifting with bodybuilding for the last year and a half, and it definitely helped. My stage shots.
Yeah, you look sick, man. You look awesome.
Oh, I was chuffed a bit. So I got a good coach who I've competed with a few times. He's 2-time British lightweight champion. He came second in the worlds. I've never seen a natural athlete get in the condition this guy gets in. So he nutritionally looked after me. And what meant a lot to him of the whole prep, despite how I looked and everything, was the fact that my own mum said, you look healthy in this prep. My mum's so used to waiting for he's got shingles again. Oh, he's got this again.
You draw your immune system down so low when you.
Oh yeah, so it was just the calories stayed fairly high right the way through. I was meant to do a natural show in Northern Ireland. It got cancelled 11 days out, and that's when I needed a plan B. So PCA Wales was on the cards, and I flew over with my Polish clients. These big monster. I've seen it, Polish, big lads. He made the top 6 on the weekend there in the Brits. I think he was 90. He'd put on 10 kilos of muscle in 2 years. So he was set to be 106 kilos shredded, this monster. So me and Team Poland flew over from Northern Ireland to Bristol, and we got a lift with another Polish guy I'd worked on before, who's a cabbie in Cardiff. Just so it literally was Team Poland. And so I was in PCA, probably the best federation in the UK, but it's untested. So you're up against the best enhanced people. So I wasn't getting my hopes up, but thankfully my coach got me in the best condition, my best symmetry, my best presentation. And he says, you've really got to play on this now. He says, you've got to really stand out, sort of thing, and place top 3. So I was delighted. With it.
When you say it's untested, so there's potentially guys who are using PEDs,
I would say.
How does that make you feel? I think, like, for me,
I'm accepting of it. I'm accepting of it because you can't waltz in there going, oh, by the way, I'm this, I'm that. You can't just stand there and call them all cheaters or something, because I respect them. It's their own choice, and I admire a lot of physiques. I'm jealous of a lot of them. I'm just they just did my heroes in the 80s, the golden era.
They're all taken out. Yeah,
they're all taken out. But I just accepted it. I've done my natural shows as well, so I just thought, you just don't get your hopes up. You just think, if I can stand out, brilliant. But it was all the more accomplishment that
to come third when you got people potentially using PEDs and things like that. That's a
Yeah,
huge achievement. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, definitely. I think the guy who won my class in the Welsh, he won the Brits there on Saturday. So he was in the Welsh, he was about 16 kilos heavier than me. And the guy who came second was 90 kilos. So I was 71 kilos, I think, on the day. So I was the little dwarf next to them. So I was just happy. I was just happy to have placed top 3 in front of my parents. Usually they're a bad omen. Whenever they're not here, I come second or first. When they do see me, I come last.
Stay away.
So
don't come into the show.
I was like, oh, you're coming to see me? Great.
Really?
But thankfully didn't let them down. So yeah, after that then flew home, and then the PCA Irish was 2 weeks later, and my coach just got me in even better condition. It was a massive class. They combined 2 classes together. So my coach reckons out of 11, I came 7th. So I'll take that. Because the guys were perfection, and they came from all over the place because it was so close to the Brits. Like the guy who won it, this black guy, he looked like Serge Nubret. He was just unreal.
Oh, really?
He didn't even bother going to the Brits. I don't know why, because he won overall. The guy who came second was a Turkish guy. The guy who came third was he was Polish or Eastern European. Guy who came fourth had flown in from London. Fifth had come from the bottom of Ireland, so people came from everywhere just to try and get that British invite.
To go over.
Tuning themselves up a little bit extra for another 2 weeks and then rock up. So yeah, that was me wrapped up. I had 2 separate British invites. I could have gone to the PCA, which was on Saturday there, and the BNBF, which is the natural. I just didn't have it in me to diet that long. It was like another 5 weeks of dieting, and I thought, like I trained, pushed 2 days after the Irish, and my joints, everything. It was like, there's no way I can do another 5 weeks of eating into myself. Just, approaching autumn, it's going to get sick. I'm just going to get sick.
You'll get it.
Yeah, it would have been a bit much, but my coach was certain. It was a real carrot dangled in front of me. He was like, you will make top 5 in Britain in the lightweights if you go. So that was a real, I'm trying to twist your arm here. So I think I like the head judge of that federation. Actually, he screenshotted the message and sent me it. She said, I've just seen Sam's PCA shots. Get him over to Surrey. So please try and get him to Surrey.
Wow.
So I was really just like, but I just didn't. I said I would have taken the foot off the gas, and he was like, fine, just wrap it up now. Go get fat and fluffy and strong, and then maybe next year. So I'm glad I did that, because it would have been another weekend of flying, accommodation. It's just money, it's money. You don't get paid for this,
No, exactly.
It's a plastic trophy. That's the only prize,
it's the mental prep as well. It's like you got to get yourself in the zone and things.
And you didn't want to then along with my job, my services, I didn't want it affecting my services. I felt as a PT, it really got me a lot more focused, and I was really on at my clients a lot more. Probably a bit unsympathetic in a lot of ways as well, because I'm so in my own internally mindset, the blinders are on something, but it definitely got me a lot more motivated, and I think my following on social media, everything just increased. Just people were following my journey sort of thing. But with the massage side of things, it took it out of me. I was exhausted a lot. But I hardly had to do any cardio. I did the Stairmaster 3 times in 19 weeks.
Oh, really? I'm yet to try a Stairmaster.
Lucky it's genetics. I'm like, no, it's massage and my steps, and I would rather just walk. Rather walk. I did 8,000 steps a night just hunting after all that, just lamping with the dogs and stuff. So
that's more than enough.
I picked that over a Stairmaster any day,
Yeah, absolutely right.
Yeah.
So what's sort of like your go-to meal after you've dieted, and what would be your
the cheat meal?
So once you've done your comp and you get back, what do you eat? Because I know what I would eat. Everything, but
everything. Yeah, you have a blowout for a day or two. I got my coach to reverse diet me for 2 weeks after the Irish, because I just didn't want to be stupid. Because it's funny, because I was speaking to my boss today, and he says reverse dieting's a myth. He says a myth, Sam. I said I agree to an extent. It's more about you just easing yourself back in, just so your digestion doesn't go, what are you doing to me, sort of thing. Because I've made myself ill before just from eating like a pig after prep. and you're blaming food poisoning and stuff, and it's not. You're just eating like
your body's not used to it.
Yeah. Do you mean so? I was still having sort of consistently similar 5-6 meals that I've been having already, but a lot of chocolate on top of it. A lot of I'm a sweet tooth.
Cadbury's or Galaxy? Which one?
Cadbury's, yeah.
Same,
Cadbury's,
man, same.
Whirl Bites, Aero Bubbles, Milky Buttons. These are some of all my go-to. But yeah, after a show, my go-to is a takeaway, like either chip shop, curry, chips and things, or a madras.
Madras,
After the Welsh show, my mum drove me back to theirs. She ordered an Indian, and I had 3 pale ales. And like when you get as old as me, you'll just like ales and stouts and stuff. You just like these craft beers. And I had about 4 Bounty bars, and that was me happy.
What Indian did you go to back home?
Was it Simla?
Simla,
yeah. Or whatever the one in Aberkenfig is as well.
Yeah, Simla.
Yeah.
Very good.
Very good, yeah. Is that memories for you there?
Back in the day, yeah, Simla or Shuka. I do like Shuka.
Shuka, yeah.
Shuka's the one. So let's talk about your lad. So will you encourage your son to play sport? And if you will you try and focus on like a single sport or more of a variety of sports?
I want it to be a variety of sports, because the more I look back on it, I would have played football with the boys in school at lunchtime sort of thing, but I was never built for rugby. I've never played for teams of football or anything like that. I wasn't a team player looking back on it, like boxing, bodybuilding,
singular sports.
These singular sports sort of thing. So yeah, no, I will definitely encourage him to get into anything and everything. Over here as well, they have GAA, so the Gaelic sports, and hurling and stuff like that. So a lot of my sports research clients is a local hurling team. I'm hoping their next season to be their club therapist. So that'd be a good new avenue to go down, because I've never done on the field sort of assistance that way. So I would definitely want him to be doing GAA or hurling or boxing or rugby, anything at all. Yeah, but I definitely want to get him more into that, because I was just a very shy kid. I wasn't, I was in my own little world sort of thing. So I would definitely want him to be nice and bold and to go into that. If he wanted to become bodybuilder, brilliant. And I hope I've laid the path that he can do a lot without the aid of drugs.
Absolutely.
Because if he does go down the route of training in gyms and one step on stage, it will be imposed on him. Well, you need to take X, Y, and Z. And I'm just glad he has the evidence at hand. Just be like, nah, there's other ways,
Yeah.
So yeah, awesome. Definitely.
Good. I always like asking that question to people I speak to. Yeah. We got kids and things like that.
And yourself, with your little lad, would you have him playing everything?
Oh yeah. So I think we've signed him up to rugby classes. They do like I think it's called like rugby tots or something.
Oh, amazing.
Yeah, they can go from like 2. I'm like, well, how the fuck do they do that? Because you can't speak properly yet. Like, I'm telling them to come here. You're supposed to be like, like, who are you? So, we signed him up. Probably it'll be like next season, I imagine. Because he's fine on his feet. He's running around like a lunatic, but trying to get into his head that he has to hold the ball and run over a line is probably a little bit too much. But so rugby, whatever he wants to really. Like I've always been big into rugby. I'll probably persuade a little bit to try that. He'll go and try it. If he doesn't like it, he doesn't like it. If he wants to do football, then I don't really want to do that. But if that's what he wants,
he'll be a rugby boy. I'm sure he'll be a rugby boy as long as he doesn't have Mr. Crockett teaching him. Remember Mr. Crockett?
No, I never had Mr. Crockett. No.
No way.
My brother would have, but I was more like Mr. Locke. Mr. Sage.
Mr. Sage, yeah.
Bunch of knobs. But I think like rugby, whatever he wants to do, really. CrossFit. Oh, they do like kids CrossFit in my gym. I think he's got to be like 4 for that. So, whatever he wants to do, really. I'll just make sure I do my propaganda right. So I'll just draw rugby into him. So I'll just play it all the time on the TV. Like,
yeah.
Oh, the Six Nations is on again.
Yeah, indoctrinate him. Sure.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm sure he will. He loves to scrap already. Like, he's tough lad. So
Is he class?
Yeah, but yeah, we'll see what happens. I think, and yeah, he can do whatever he wants to do. I'm not going to be that sort of pushy father, which is like, you will do this. I'll just try and encourage and show that sport is a fantastic thing to do from when you're a kid. Like, it did wonders for me playing in a team sport and being active. And when I look back now, I used to play like rugby or train rugby like 4 times a week. And used to do the gym and things like that. So I was always doing something. And it just does wonders for you, doesn't it?
Oh, definitely.
So if we go back a little bit to, like I said at the beginning, you've got all these balls you're juggling. How do you do that? You've got your wife, you got your son, you got your dogs, you got your gym, you're training yourself, you got your bands, you got your massage, and all this stuff. Like, I find it difficult to just do my work, my CrossFit, and be with my family and enough hours in a day. How the fuck do you do all that?
It's been trial and error for a lot of time, and it's been plenty of arguments, and I've annoyed the wife plenty with just how much I'm doing. And I think I don't watch much telly. I think telly is like a Saturday thing. I think that's a lot to do with it as well. But basically, being self-employed makes it a lot easier. I think when I was working out in the lorries and things before, come home, then go and train, then see the doctor. It was just it was so regimented, and you just, like passing ships sort of thing. With this now, I've realized I need to make time for things. So I've already restructured my appointment system and stuff. So I'm going to start doing PT again now, early mornings as of last week. So lockdown really wrecked my body clock. I became like a teenager, and even now it's still, I'm going to put like 1.5. It's really embarrassing to say, but that's just the way I am now. And I've been surviving on it okay, but I need more structure again now. So PT, I'm trying to cram into the mornings because I charge more for sports therapy services. So I'm saying I'm PT wise, I'm doing 10, 11, 12 sessions a week now to make it worthwhile me paying the gym rent side of things, as well as my own treatment room. So I'm trying to really now cram PT to be your in the morning sort of thing. I think there's 1 or 2 clients I'll make exceptions for. Like, one's like a mental health nurse, another is a merchandiser for Harry Corey, so she's all over the country and stuff. But if you're a 9 to 5 person,
at 6 a.m,
you're in with me at 7 a.m. or something like that now. So I'm really trying to do it that way, and then I train myself then between sort of 2 to 4, and then I have the remainder of my clients then up until now 7 p.m. I used to work till like 9 every night, and it took the winter lockdown for me to realize I'm missing out on my son. Because in that winter lockdown, I got to bath him, I got to read to him, I got to just be in the house with him, and then the gym opened up again or whatever, and I just thought, I'm not getting back into this habit. It's just it's
you
feel
you say that,
the client's dictating what I do with myself. So I was like, no. My appointment's shut then by about 7 p.m. I'll get home and get to see him before he goes to bed and stuff, because he's usually driving Ashley mad by the time I get home. And then then I would see to the dogs. So lamping, sometimes I'll just take them down the field so I've got lurchers, so they're running dogs. These are dogs that you can't just walk down the street and back. They need to sprint 30 mile an hour a good few times before you even put a dent in them, sort of thing. So sometimes I'd take them out in the morning and then just in Valley Park, and then other times I'll go out for a couple of hours on end, just lamping with them. So that definitely gets a lot of steps in and stuff. I don't get to practice drums these days. That's something I miss. I just don't make time for that now. And I went from living, as I say, in the valleys in a big country house with no neighbors, so I could play the drums as much as I want. My dad's a drummer, so he encouraged it, to being in a semi-detached house in an estate, which doesn't really like me playing drums or my dog's barking and stuff. So I don't get to practice there. Yeah, so I'll gig with my band. That is a long way to go. My band, our sort of the circuit we do is like Coleraine, Portrush, Port Stewart. It's North Coast. It's like an hour away. So that takes its toll a little bit. I take now, most of the gigs are Saturdays. I now take Friday half day. So I pick up my little one from nursery about 4 or 5 o'clock, and we go to Smith's Toys. You've probably seen Dinosaur Fridays.
Just about, that's my next question.
Dinosaur Fridays, yeah. So that's our daddy son.
That's awesome.
That's the end of the
I
week.
am going to be stealing that with pride, just to let you know.
Yes, it's a good move, and unless he picks up like the 35-pound dinosaur, and that's what he got.
It's a rubbish one. You don't want that one.
Yeah, you don't want that one. You don't want that one. Yeah. So dinosaurs. We're going to shop, get him a toy, and then we go to McDonald's, and then Ashley will be training in her gym, and that's me in for the night. So it's like Fridays is a bit of a family night, and then Saturday I'll take a few clients, train myself, and then I'm back in 5ish. Then I will see to the dogs. If I'm not gigging, then I'm in again, and then Sundays I'm off with the family, sort of thing. So it's like a good 4.5, 5 days flat out. It is flat out, but I'm just used to it now. Like, people say, I don't know how you have the time, but they can reel off to me everything they watched on TV the night before.
Yeah,
and I'm like,
exactly.
I think I just don't make that much time.
Yeah, I go back to like Arnold Schwarzenegger makes a good saying is like,
you sleep faster.
Sleep faster, yeah. I only need 4 hours. Just sleep faster. And it's like, I was like, man, this guy's right. Like, don't complain to me. You haven't got, there's 24 hours in a day or something. Just sleep faster.
Yeah. And if you hear him break it down, like if you listen to what he did back in the 70s, like working on a building site however long, then training for 5 hours, then going to acting class at 11 p.m.
Yeah.
Then going to bed. Then
you 4 a.m.
start this day, and you'll soon like shut up about whatever you'd be moaning about before. Like
Yeah. Oh, I did an 8-hour shift today. So yeah. I just want to go back to a comment you said about like perspective with your son about the winter lockdown, because I can relate to that massively, and I had that same sort of realization that when you're working and you're in your career and your job, and you don't tend to see it, you don't notice it, but then like you had the whole COVID situation, you couldn't work, whereas I could still work, but I just had a similar sort of moment where I was like, is this worth it? Yeah. I was working physically 5 days a week, Monday to Friday, 10, 12 hours a day, but weekend as well. Like my phone on a Saturday just would not stop. And I remember like sitting in like my living room with my boy and my wife, and we're trying to like be a family, and then my phone's going off, my phone's ringing, I gotta answer it, it's so from work, and I was like, do you know what, this ain't fucking worth it. I got my son looking at me here, and I'm speaking to someone from work, like, this is fucking crazy. It was that and a combination of other things, and I thought, do you know what, knock us on the head, we've got to change it, because it's not healthy, and it's, you kind of accept it or deal with it when it's just me and Ellie, and that was just my career, and I was trying to advance myself, and then as soon as you threw my son in the mix, I was like, something changes, and like for me, everything I do now is for him. I'm my family and Ellie, and obviously, but you want the best for your kids, and
definitely
being able to,
it makes you more forward thinking.
It's like one for being able to provide stability and roof over the head and financial whatever, but the other part of it is actually being a dad to them and spending the time with them, because you can't get that shit back. You can't buy 100%. That. So I'm glad you said that, because I had this similar sort of situation.
Totally relate to you. Like it's memories,
exactly.
You can't get that back. And like just the other day, I'm glad I've restructured it now, and it's going to be mornings now. I need to. So my little boy's just started preschool, like 2 hours a day, like 9 till 11, and then Ashley will go get him. But if Ashley's a dental nurse, if she's in work, he goes back to the nursery then. So he's been in the nursery since he was small. But even she took him to the school the other day, and he saw one of his friends, Daddy, bringing him in, and he just said, "Daddy doesn't bring me to school."
Oh man,
why didn't you do that? That choked me up.
Oh God.
Yeah. So it's
listen when Mufasa on Lion King, like.
Oh, I know exactly. Yeah. So you just said, you need to take him up somewhere. I was like, yeah, I do. Yeah. Anyway, he knows what he's clocking. He's clocking.
Yeah, and their minds are like sponges, aren't they?
Oh yeah, definitely. So yeah, I totally relate there. You have to make time.
Absolutely, man. All right. Well, you've answered Dino Fridays, so that was my last question of the Sam Dano thing. So I'm going to go into some trivia with you. So, Are you an American Office fan or UK Office fan?
I am a converted American Office fan.
Well done. I'm glad you said that.
Yes. Yeah. Dwight is I wish Dwight was real, and I wish he was my friend.
Yeah, me too.
Dwight, there is no greater character than Dwight. My favorite Dwight quote is when he thinks one of the office members are becoming a vampire or something.
Jim's a vampire.
Then he goes, I don't have much experience with vampires. However, I do with werewolves. He says, I once shot a werewolf on my premises, but by the time I got to it, it reverted back to my neighbor's dog.
Yeah.
I love that.
It's like I've probably watched the whole box set of series about 50 times. It's like one of those, it's like Friends, isn't it? You can just keep watching it over and over again. So I was going to ask you what your favorite scene is, but and your character, but you've answered Dwight. He's probably mine as well. I think but I do love Michael Scott as well. I think he's like, he's class. So like my favorite scene, I got loads, but the one which cracks me up the most is when Jan has the baby and she comes to the baby shower. And you know when and Dwight's testing the stroller out.
Yes.
$1,200 for a stroller.
Yeah.
my first bombshell didn't even cost that much. And he's like putting his pram through all the tests. Like, it's just class. Like, absolutely awesome program. So
I love it.
I tried to get James, my buddy, into it, who does the pod, but I'm still trying. But you got to watch it. Like, it is class.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No, it's class. 100%.
All right, let's go into some trivia then. So, what music do you listen to when you train?
When I train, I listen to Above and Beyond Group Therapy podcast. So I'm as a musician, and as a drummer, my dad raised me to be like a chameleon of styles. So I like. Okay. From a drumming perspective, I would copy like Dave Weckl, a lot of jazz drummers, a lot of the black like gospel, R&B, hip hop drummers. Like, my dad was just like, session drummers are the best. You copy them, otherwise you're rubbish, sort of thing, But music in a gym, it'd either be sort of glam rock, Motley Crue, Def Leppard, stuff like that, or just the total other end of the spectrum, and it'd just sort of be like progressive house, trance, stuff like that.
I think it depends what you're doing, doesn't it? For me, if I'm going into like a CrossFit style workout and it's going to be fucking shit and it's going to really hurt, like I have to like blast like Metallica or something really heavy and dirty, like to really get me going. Get the blood pumping. Then if I'm doing like an endurance pace, so like, I don't know, a 10K on the bike or 10K row, like country music all the way. Just
really?
Like, just chuck it on and just chill out. So Luke Combs, like, if you ever listen to that guy, go and listen to him. He's awesome. So Luke Combs, I'll send it to you.
Country singer, is he? Yeah,
American guy, but it's not like old school country. Like it's really, really chilled music. Like, so I'll listen to that if I'm doing something steady. So opposite ends of the spectrum are the same, I suppose.
It depends what you're doing. You're right. Yeah.
All right, so we covered that one. Let's go to the next one. So, 2 films you take to a desert island. So if you could never leave there, you had to watch them over and over again, what 2 films would it be?
That is a class question. Braveheart.
Oh, yes.
Braveheart, yeah. That's probably my most precious film. And then I'd probably have to take something funny. Maybe, I know, of all the Will Ferrell films, right? Have you ever watched Night at the Roxbury?
No.
Oh my days, that's it's like early 90s. It's called The Dumb and Dumber of Disco. That's what the film. Oh, really? That's what it was labeled as, right? Will Ferrell and the guy who plays his brother, they're both on like Saturday Night Live. They're just basically it's like a dance film, but they're just these 2 idiot brothers trying to pull, and they can never pull until they do in the end. Sort of thing. Stifler's mum is on it.
Oh God, really?
When she's young and hot, like it's it's unreal. Like of all the Will Ferrell films I could think to have said, then Night at the Roxbury, 100% recommend it. But it'd be Braveheart, for the morale, and then let the Roxbury.
I'll have to watch that one. All right, what's the most embarrassing thing that's ever happened to you?
Oh my days. There's probably a million of them, but one that comes to mind was, it was awful. Me and my cousin, he's from Kent, and we went out partying when we were like, I don't know, 20, 21. And the next day was our grandparents, whatever anniversary, like their 40 years, I don't know, whatever it was. And there was a massive, massive party. And loads of family there, loads of their friends are there. And my cousin's mum, my auntie Fiona, she really had it in her head that we would give a really funny speech. I don't know where she got this from, but like we woke up the following day and we were rough as anything. We were when we were out in Bridgend, I think it was in was it called York
Bar? What about Monroe's upstairs? You go upstairs with the sticky floor.
Yes, that's the sticky floor. That's like, you know, it's one of those nights it's like pulling cougars and stuff, and then we just woke up and then we went to this you know, get together, big, you know, fancy thing. You know, it's everyone's really, you know, giving them the big well done for being married so long. Really nice, you know, classy party. And then Fiona just got hold of a mic and says, and now for the entertainment of the day, Joe and Sam. And it was the most painful 30 seconds of my life before I handed the mic over to Joe, who also crashed and burned and just failed miserably. It was tumbleweed. So my daddy had his head in his hands. It was just, I tried to make a dig at my nan for like being crap at playing the viola or something. It was just hard. Like even to this day, if any sort of meme, any sort of thing pops up, I always send it to Joe, and it's like, is this worse? Is this worse than that?
Is this really bad?
Oh yeah, like there's probably way more embarrassing moments, but that is one that literally turns my stomach up whenever I think of it. Like the entertainment of the day, that didn't go well.
All right, next one. Would you use your wife's toothbrush?
She's dental nurse. She's a dental nurse. I probably would if I had to, if I had no choice. Yeah.
All right. Two people on Instagram that you like religiously follow. So everyone has like their bank of followers, but is it like two particular people where you'd be like, oh man, I'm just gonna go check this guy's story out or this girl's story out or whatever?
That's a really good one. It'd probably be like a comedian or someone in there. That's the thought.
I've asked myself the question. It's really fucking hard because I'm like, There's like one guy I would like, Matt Fraser. So from a CrossFit perspective, like, he's like the god. So like, I'll always like, if his stories, I'll make sure I'll go through it or read his posts. But I couldn't really think of two where I would be like, if that one comes, probably another CrossFit athlete, maybe Rich Fronin was like the other, god in CrossFit. Purely just because the like knowledge is just insane. It's just,
it would probably either be some like the golden era bodybuilders I follow, like Lee Labrada and Roy Liedlmeyer, people like that. If they put much in their stories, I know I would look for that. Or it's not actually a person, or it has to be a person behind the account. Do you follow Nature is Metal?
No.
Oh man,
I'm gonna follow it now.
Check out Nature is Metal on Instagram, because I'm a big animal dweeb.
Yeah, it's Nature is Metal.
They're either just fantastic, phenomenal clips, or they're hard to watch. Like,
this is right up my street.
Or watch the stories, because a lot of people from all over the world will send their stories in of like, you know, they're just like, you know, people in, you know, South America, someone just sat watching telly, next thing like a snake just starts killing a bird outside the porch or something.
Wow.
Really, just gruesome stuff. Like, there's one of the posters the other day was of a python killing a honey badger, but then these two jackals come over and pick at the snake, and then the badger manages to get out of the sort of the stranglehold, and they all start fighting over killing the snake. just really stupid that. So yeah, Nature is Metal. One of their stories pop up. I'm watching all of them.
That's awesome. I love stuff like that. When for my honeymoon, we went to Africa for a safari.
Wow.
And like the whole time you're there, you want to see a lion. Like that's just like the pinnacle, and they're so hard to find because they're rare as fuck now. But like they don't really come out until the nighttime. But we managed to find one male lion. It was like up a tree, but it doesn't really do much because you just sleep all day. And then we were driving around for hours, and then you could see all the safari jeeps congregating in one area. And they've all got radios, so like, radio and saying, there's a lion over here, there's a lion. It's like, touch to the driver, get over there now, like we want to go see this lion. Fuck the hyena on the right, don't care about him, like, let's go get the lion. And it was 2 lionesses hunting zebra.
Wow.
So like we were all like parked up on this road, and obviously the herd of zebra and wildebeest in the middle. And one of the lionesses was like right at the far end, like he'd just about make out in the top of the mountain. And was like pushing them towards all of us. And then the other lioness was literally in between all the vans. So I've got like photos of it like right next to me. I could literally put my hand out there and stroked it, but obviously not going to do that because I don't have no hand left.
The camouflage, Wow.
Yeah, they were just weaving in between all the cars, while the other one was pushing them towards us, and it was just like everyone was like just transfixed. And unfortunately, the wildebeests and they're quite smart, because I think one of them is like really short-sighted and got really bad hearing, so they like work off each other.
Okay.
They like somehow they got alerted that there was a lion coming towards them, so they all belted it, but. It was just like the coolest thing to see. Like you watch it on TV, but like to see it in real life.
And you were literally right next to it.
Oh yeah, I've got pictures of it. It was just absolutely awesome. What an awesome place. Got to go back.
Amazing.
All right, next one. So, do you add milk to your tea with the tea bag in or out? So you like tea bag in, turn it all around, take the tea bag out, then put your milk in, or you like milk with the tea bag in?
Boring fact, I don't like tea or coffee.
Fucking hell.
Yeah.
Okay,
the only hot drink I don't like tea or coffee. It's like
really?
Muddy water to me. I'm so as you can imagine, I'm very, very caffeine sensitive because I don't like coffee.
Yeah.
So when I do have
just blows your head off.
I am berserk, absolutely berserk. So the only time I have a hot drink is hot chocolate, Christmas time sort of thing.
You need to get on the coffee game. Like I drink quite well. I don't so much anymore since last probably 4 to 6 weeks I've really calmed my coffee down. I used to drink quite a lot. I certainly found that like I could take pre-workout and I just have nothing. Like no impact. And I was like, okay, this product is shit. I'll go buy another one. And I've come to the consensus now that like after like 4 or 5 different manufacturers, like maybe I've just grown some sort of intolerance to it, or I'm just used to it. Like so. Yeah, 100%. Nothing really gets me wound up anymore, which is pretty shit because I love the feeling of you have that pre-workout and you like.
Have you tried MV Pre?
Who?
Have you tried MV pre-workout?
No, MV Pre.
It is.
Send it over to me.
I'll send it over to you. I'll get a picture of it and send it to you. That's the best one. My gym actually sell it now because all the coaches are on it. It's that potent.
The best one I tried. My mate Adam told me about it. Is Mr. Hyde.
Yeah.
Oh my god! I remember the first time I took it. You gotta like take a half hour before because some of them were like 10 minutes before, aren't they? And this one was like 30 or 45 to 30 minutes before. So I remember like I got home from work. I was like, it's here. And I'm like, I'm going to the gym. It's Monday, big chest day. It's back in my gym bodybuilding training days. And I was like, right, I'll get this shit down me in like 1 scoop. And I was just sitting in my living room. I was like, oh God, I'm like, my body temperature was raising. And I had the first time you have the tingles.
The tingles,
But like, it was like, my whole face was tingling. I felt like my face was melting.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh my God, I texted her, I can't come, mate. I'm in a world of pain, yeah. Like, I don't know what's going on. He's like, this is normal. I was like, oh shit. And then literally like 10 seconds that I got in the car, I was like chewing the steering wheel. I was like, I am just like, I want to hit someone. Like,
that
like And I've never found anything since which gives that kick. Like,
they're hard to come by. They're hard to come by.
And there's so many on the market now. Like when I first got that, there was only a few. Like so, but now they're everywhere. And not so
they're everywhere. You've got to watch which ones you take, because the natural federations I compete in, a lot of people get banned from the federations, not for steroids, but because they took a spiked pre-workout.
Oh, really?
I was given a freebie pre-workout before in an untested show I competed in called Icarus. And all the instructions and ingredients were in Russian. And I went, and this is when I was PT Pure Gym, and I gave some of it to my friend who was also a PT there at the time. After my show, I was like, should we train? He was like, yeah, let's train. So we took this Icarus and we basically danced for 3 hours on the gym floor. I came home and I just wanted to smash my whole house up. I just didn't know what was wrong with me. Cathal rang me, walking up the road crying. He was like, what was in that stuff? What was in that stuff? And he was literally in the members area crying. People asking what was wrong with him. So I went to a supplement shop the following day and got talking to the guy. I was just like, look, I'm looking for a pre-workout. I said, have you heard of Icarus? He goes, yeah, it's illegal. Have you got some? I'll buy it off you. So this was given to me as a freebie in a show. So he traced who it came from. It was this scumbag who's got a gym in Newton Ards. And I said, my friend was crying, I haven't taken this stuff. And he just went, well, there's a lot of speed in it. There's a lot of MDMA and there's a lot of this and a lot of that. And I said, what? He says, that's the Russians for you. They just lace it everything. So so there's a lot of them that are spiked out there and they get shut down pretty quickly. But Icarus managed to make it over you. So never take Icarus.
That's crazy shit, man. I'll make sure I don't get that. Maybe one day. Depends. If I'm really tired, maybe I'll get it.
Yeah.
So last question for you, mate. So toilet roll. Which orientation do you have it? So like some people have it like where as you're looking at it, it comes from the top down, and then some people have it so that the bit as you pull is coming from the back and coming down. So which way would you like? Do you get what I'm saying?
No, what you say again? Sorry.
So toilet roll, right?
What you're saying then? Yeah.
Toilet roll. So when you're in a toilet, when you put a toilet roll on the toilet roll holder. Yeah?
Oh, sorry. Yes. Yeah.
So some people will have it that the bit you tear off is like coming from the top. Yeah.
Yeah. Coming from
some
top.
People have it that is coming from underneath.
Yeah, underneath. If we had a holder, we just lumped everywhere. But back in the holder days, it's meant to be coming down from the top, facing you.
I would have had to cancel the whole podcast.
Yeah. Is that the right answer?
Yeah, man. You passed the test, mate. You passed the test.
Yeah. Good.
Well, I'm going to wrap it up, mate. But honestly, it's been fucking awesome having you on here. Thank you so much. I definitely want to get you back on here because I think we've got so much more to cover. And I know James will want to ask you loads and loads of other stuff as well. So and maybe next time we can go a bit more into dieting and nutrition and especially that recovery, get some more detail on that from yourself. So I'll hook you. I got like 6 weeks now worth of back-to-back guests, but maybe around Christmas time I'll give you a shout and we'll get you back on you, buddy.
Oh, it sounds amazing. Brilliant. Thanks for having me, Carl.
No, awesome, mate. And thank you so much. And I'll let you know. It should be live probably tomorrow. We'll put it live. So
amazing. Look forward to it.
All right, nice one, buddy. Take care, mate.
Cheers, buddy. All the best to that.
Nice one, pal. Bye.